Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to do a very interesting project, and that is generating different type of graph with LLM model. So we are going to automating the process of generating graph. So we just need to provide the prompt and the data set and the type of the graph. So our model will generate, or our system will generate, different type of graph based on the prompt. So this is going to be very interesting project. We are automating the process of graph generation, and if you are a generative AI enthusiast or you are learning generative AI, so it will be very beneficial project for you. So let's get started. Now let's understand the code. So I have opened Google Colab for this. So this is the Google Colab, and I have imported LangChain and LangChain community, and then LangChain Google Gen AI, because we are making this with Gemini model, so we need Google LangChain Google Gen AI and pandas. Then I have uploaded the dataset of housing CSV here. So this is the dataset, and then NumPy. Then let's load the dataset pd.read CSV, and this is the dataset of house prices. Now let's add the columns, all of these columns in this variable name columns. For I in range df dot columns, so we will add all the column names in this column list. So these are the columns. Now let's store the API key in this variable. So in the secret section in the Google Colab provide secrets. So when we click on it, so these are the API keys I have stored. So this is the Google API key, and this is the API key here. We can store the API key in this way. So this is a good practice to store this API key. Then from google.colab import user data. So we can import the API key here, and I have stored this API key in this API key variable. So user data dot get API key, this is the name of the variable I mentioned here, Google API. And then the code. So first we need to install LangChain Google Gen AI, import Chat Google Generative AI, then Matplotlib and Pandas and Seaborn. We also need to install Matplotlib and Seaborn. So let's install Matplotlib and Seaborn. So we also need to install this, but also need to install this. Google Colab already provide this, but if we are running in this in local system, then we need to install this. Then here the LLM variable. So I have imported call this Chat Google Generative AI. Then the model name Google Gemini 2.0 Flash 001. So let's search for the Google Gemini models. So these are the models available, like 2.5 Flash Preview, 2.5 Pro. So these are the models we can use with this API key: Flash, Gemini, and Pro, Flashlight. So these are the models available, and these are also embedding models available, Gemini embedding models for text embedding. So these are the model we can use. And then the temperature is 0.4. We are assuming temperature here 0.4. We can increase the temperature or decrease, and the max tokens is none here. So I have taken maximum token none. So we are not getting into, we are not giving the fixed size of the tokens. Then timeout equal to none, and then max retrix equal to 2. And then Google API key, here is the API key I have mentioned. This is the variable where I store the API key. Then this is the prompt. Now let's read the documentation about Chat Google Generative AI. So this is the documentation, and the model names also available here. And this is the LLM we have seen here, like model name, temperature, and these are the other parameters we can add in it. And then the message, we are adding this message prompt here. So I have add the message prompt like you are an AI assistant that will suggest only graph type of viewing the dataset content, and also write short and complete code to draw all the graph. And dataset column names are here, so that names will come here, that we store in the list of the dataset columns. So these names will come here in the prompt, message prompt. And then human message, these are two messages, human and system and human. As we can see here, we can provide two messages here in the prompt, and system and human message. And then the human message, this is the sample of the dataset. So I have df.head, so we can add the sample of the dataset. So model will this will help model to understand the dataset, what are the values present in dataset, like what are object and integer. So this will help model to understand the type of the dataset column values. And then plot only 10 best graph with equal sizes, and there must be same columns. So I have also mentioned that there must be only 10 graph, and with equal sizes, there must be size of the graph will be equal. And then there must be same columns. And then name, same column names that is provided, not change in indentation, and also installation is already done. So I have also told in the prompt that I have already installed Matplotlib and Seaborn, so don't install it again. So this is I also mentioned in the prompt. And then don't provide any indentation, so we can get any errors. So I have also mentioned this in the prompt. So this is the prompt. The main thing is that in the prompt that I have provided the columns named in the prompt, so it will easily understand the columns name. So it will help model to understand what we need to draw in the graph. Then this response will go in llm.invoke. Invoke is the type of the function that will execute this prompt. And then import regular expression to remove the unnecessary unnecessary marks or details from the code that will generate from this prompt, from this model. And then we will remove the next lines or new line syntax from the code. And then exe will execute the code. Exec will execute the all the code. So let's explore this exe executing the Python code. So this is the information about exe. So we just need to add the program in exe, so it will automatically execute our code. So let's add the example here. So we just need to add the code in a string, so it will execute the code. So this is exe. Now let's run this. So this is the graph, these are the graph, and these are different type of graph like bar graph, scatter plot, and there are multiple graph available here. And this is how we can generate the graph with simple prompt handling. And this is a histogram of distribution of prices and main road access counts. And this is another scatter plot and price versus area plot and bar graph. So this is how we can generate different type of graph with the simple prompt handling. We can also change the model name, and we can also adjust the temperature. Let's change the temperature to 0.4 again. So now we will run this code in our local system. We have just seen this code in Google Colab. So I have made a Streamlit frontend of web frontend of this code. So it will provide Streamlit provide a website like frontend. So we just don't need to create HTML, CSS from scratch. And this is the front end of that code, autograph generator with AI. So I have created with Streamlit, and now we just need to add our CSV file here. So this is the drag and drop file here. Now just click on browse and select CSV file here. So this is the dataset preview. This is how our dataset looks like. And now I have done some changes here, like input prompt and the type of the graph. So we need to select the type of the graph and also add the prompt. Now in the prompt we just need to mention the name of the columns that we want to choose for the graph. Like I want to draw a scatter plot between price and area, so I will just mention price and area, and then I will just click on generate graph. I have selected the scatter plot. So these are the options I have available, like scatter, line plot, histogram, bar graph and pie chart. So I have selected scatter plot, and this is the graph between price and area of a scatter plot. So this is how our graph is looking like, and this is the generated code section. We can see the code behind this graph. This is the Python code with Seaborn and Matplotlib. So we can also see the code here, and this is the graph. We can also draw different mini graph here. Like I want to draw a bar graph between a graph for, let's select this column furnishing status, and now I want to draw a bar graph for this. So let's click on this button, generate graph, and this is how our bar graph looks like for distribution of furnishing status. And this is showing that we have furnished houses less than 150 and semi-furnished more than 200, and unfurnished is more than 150. So this is the bar graph of furnished status. Let's draw one more graph. Let's draw the pie chart. Graph for guest room, I think guest room and bedrooms. So let's select the pie chart. Now this is our graph. This is the two graph, guest room distribution, like yes and no. So I think there is 17.8 is yes for guest room and 82.2 no for guest rooms and bedroom distributions. So these are two graph for these distributions, and let's see the code. So this is how we can draw easily graph. We have lots of options here. Let's understand this code. So I have imported Streamlit. As I said, Streamlit is used for web front end design. So Streamlit, and then pandas, then ray, textray, matplotlib, seaborn, langchain and os. Then from .env import load .env. So .env I have used for storing the and calling the environment variable. So this is the environment variable. I have make an environment variable named .env. In this environment variable I have stored the API key with the name Google API key. This is the API key, and I have stored in this variable. So this is a good practice to store API key in this separate environment variable. And then I call this with Google API variable name, then os.getEnv. This is the name of the variable which I mentioned here, Google API key. Then llm variable with model name temperature max token, and then I have mentioned the API key here also. So it is a good practice to store API key like this. Then st.title, this is the title of the web page autograph generator with AI. st.title and st.write, upload your dataset and instantly get 10 best graph. So this is the subtitle. And then upload file, st.upload file uploader. Here we can choose the browse file menu to upload the file. And then the condition, if the if the file is CSV, then the load the subheader and then show the top 5 columns of the graph like this. Dataset preview, here we can see the 5 columns of the CSV file. Now in the input, we are taking the prompt from the user. This is the input box, and here we are taking the prompt from the user, that which graph and which column they want to select for the graph. And then the drop down menu in the option variable st.select box, this is for drop down menu. We have seen here like which graph, which plot they want to choose. And then the columns, I have stored the column names of the data set in df.columns in the list. And then the prompt, so I have done some changes in the prompt. This prompt is different from the prompt what we have seen in the Google Colab. So in this prompt we are not making randomly 10 graph. I have just uh, mentioned the graph type and the columns that we want to choose for the graph. Like user will select the type of the graph and also select the columns for graph. So this is, I think this is will be more convenient for the user to select the graph type. So that is what I have mentioned here. So in this line note, this is the user input, and in the input variable we are just taking the prompt. This is the prompt that we are giving to the message. And the graph type is option, so this is the drop down option that we are mentioning in this prompt message. And then this is the two things which are important for selecting the graph according to the user perspective. And then the note, only use Matplotlib and Seaborn, because we don't want to use other libraries. We don't want that code will be generated by other libraries. So I have also mentioned this, so we get error free code. So this is also important to mention. And because we have all imported Seaborn and Matplotlib, so we don't want any errors in this. So this is all important. And the rest code is the same. We have seen st.button for generating the graph. And then the spinners will show the animation. And then the llm.invoke, and our message, prompt message, goes in this llm.invoke. And then we filter the extra marks or extra syntax from the message. And then the expander and the code, this is a Streamlit functionality we can study. So this is about this code. That's it from this video, guys. If you learned something new from this video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.